them. That is going to be Chatterpix. It looks like the guy with the black nose in the, I'm not sure how to make that look right. So it's on the bottom row, up one on the left. So Chatter Kid, okay. It's by Duck Duck Moose. I love this company's products. They are very easy for kids to play around with. So if it's easy for them, it's also easy for us to learn and to be able to teach. I'm going to be utilizing them. And then the next one over from him is called Sock Puppet. Sock Puppet, kids love this one because it makes goofy voices and things like that. So I kind of want you to put two hats on while we're playing with this. One is for kids to create, and one is for you to create for them. And so these are going to be a little bit more creative than I have my PowerPoint and I'm making a video from it, or I'm putting instructions and I'm showing my screen. This is going to be a little bit more the creative piece of it. And so then the one next to that looks like a camera lens with a little eyeball kind of thing. It's called PhotoSpeak. This one is going to make a person or picture that you have kind of come alive. And so that's kind of cool. And we'll look at that real quick in a minute. And then stop motion. This one, the one thing to remember with this one is if you're going to do this one, you're going to want to take the pictures while you have the app open. Don't take all your pictures and then try to upload them. It doesn't work that way. It actually wants you to do it within the app to make your stop motion videos very easy. Puppetedu is going to be the next one. If we get to it, we'll do some Flipgrid, iMovie, and then Clips is another really great one. And then I have some that are also by Duck Duck Moose that we might touch on. Draw and Tell. This princess one is called Princess Fairytale Story Maker. So that one, you have to do the whole thing to be able to find it. Otherwise, you get a whole lot of princesses. Superhero Comic Book Maker. And then the Farmyard one is Make a Scene Farmyard. It's the free version of what they have. They have a whole bunch of them. And so again, those are going to be for littles, but it definitely lets them create storylines, things like that. It's super creative. It's super fun, very graphic. And really the superhero one, because it's comic book, could probably be a little bit older as well. Okay. The first one we're going to go back to is ChatterCam. So from here, you have a whole lot of options. Take a photo or go to the gallery. The gallery is going to have things that you've created as well as things that they've already created so you can get an idea of what you can do. I can go back to the home and I can also take a photo. Okay, so I'm going to take a photo, and I probably should have gotten something to take a photo of. Regardless, we're going to use a book because that's what I have. All right, so I've got my book. I snap a picture, or I can also, in that same area, I can go to the bottom of the screen and select a photo from my photos. So maybe I want to use this book photo that I have of this one, okay? So you've got your options either way. And then, you know, they should be green because we tell everybody green means go. But the little yellow in this app is going to be, or kind of orange, depends on what it looks like on your screen, is going to tell you what to do next. Then to do your recording, you hit the recording and you have to draw a mouth on there. And so then it's ready to record. It's only going to give you 30 seconds. So as you're making your video, it has the countdown on the screen. So you can see where this would be very easy for them to manage. Go ahead and hit the square to stop, and then they can play their video. If they don't like their mouth, they can redraw their mouth. Okay. They can do that over and over again. Okay, they can re-record by using the record button or go next. This is kind of the fun area too, because you can put filters, you can put stickers. There is a poop emoji. I always think that's hilarious, or inappropriate, depending on how you feel about that. You can put frames in, you can put extra text, and choose what you want to put in there. So I always tell the kids to put their name on their work so that I know who made the video, and then they can go to next. From there, you have the option to play your video. The video is going to save in the gallery on the device, or they can choose the upload button right here and export to the camera roll. Once the export is complete, then everything lives inside the Photos app. In the camera roll, you can see that it is down. Oh, it does not like that app. It kicked me off. Let's try this again. So I'm not allowed to go to the camera app while doing this. All right, so it's going to live in your photos, and you can access it once that's complete. So some examples of what I've had them do. In an art class, we had them put together a model. It was a clay model of a gargoyle. And so they had gone through the whole thing, but then they also researched different things about Notre Dame and gargoyles, where the history of that came from, why they were an architectural feature that we would want to study, and what they meant for kind of some of the history periods of it. So then they got to tell the story of their gargoyle using some of that historical knowledge that they had been learning while they made their gargoyles. And so they made their videos based off of that. Another one was we used it as a quick assessment to turn around what kids knew, and they took a picture of the book and then they had to retell the story, maybe a beginning, middle, end, things like that. You could walk through a science experiment. You could do personification of an object. I mean, there's all kinds of different things that you could do. So that's ChatterKid. And then the next one that I'm going to show you is Sock Puppets. You go to new and you get to select your characters. They are all sock puppets. So I'm going to select a character and another one. I've got eyeballs on my characters and select next. Now I can select my background and next. I can put props in. A yellow means that it is movable while you are recording. Red means that it's stationary, so it's going to stay exactly where it goes. So let's see, I'm going to pull a house and a tree and a rock. I'm going to set up my stage. Probably not the best things to put in my thing here. But I can play around with that how I need to. I can come back and change my pieces as I want to by going back to home and trying again. And then to record, again, you just hit record. And while it's doing that, you notice that my little sock is making his mouth move because the arrow is pointing to him. If I want to change characters, I just choose the other one, and then he can start to talk. This one would be great. So it kind of scrubs your voice and makes it cute. You can see why kids would like that. Or if you don't like your voice recorded, that might be an option for you too. I think one of the activities that was sent out for kids was on it was a play, so they were the different characters rereading. So this would be a great way to practice their fluency and reading aloud. And so then they could also show a demonstration of how they understand how that works. So then the characters could then be trading back and forth, and they can be recording that reading. So that could be kind of fun. You can add music to it, and then the save button is right there. So I'm going to hit save, and I want to put it on my device. I'm going to name my puppet show. Save. All right. I can't show you where it saves because it's again in that camera app, and my camera app doesn't work well with Meets. Okay, so that was number 2. Number 3 is going to be PhotoSpeak. This one is probably one of my favorite ones because it's creepy and it's a little bit more geared towards older kids. So it takes a still photo. Sorry, it's recording what I say. I'm going to back up a little bit so that it doesn't pick up my voice. So you can put any picture in here and it's going to give visual features and it's going to do that. So I am going to pick up my gallery so I can choose one of those options, or oops, click on the person to be able to get a new picture, or choose from my photos. So I've got George Washington. And what I have to do is then choose where his mouth is. Okay, so we want to kind of play around with that just a little bit and click OK. And now his eyeballs are going to blink. And as my voice gets picked up on this screen, it's going to actually show George Washington is going to start talking. I just think this is too funny. Again, so I'm going to add one more here and play with that. So I've seen some where, you know, they do poems and things like that. So here's my picture of my little guy here. And we'll make him creepy because why not? All right, we're going to call that good. And so now it gives him facial features. How funny is that? So obviously he wasn't a great example because his mouth is already open. So I should have chosen a. All right, so you can kind of see how that works. Again, your upload is there, your video is there, and you can share your video, save it, put it in YouTube, those sorts of things are all there. Oh, it's not showing you the options. That's fun. On this screen, if you click it, mine has copy, save video, save to files, translate to a different language, share to classroom. All of that is in this app. So it goes straight through to be able to do that, which is kind of nice. Okay. So that one is PhotoSpeak. The next one I'm going to show you is called Stop Motion. In Stop Motion, you are going to go to New Video. And again, I don't have really great things to make a stop motion video here, but you are going to snap pictures. So my phone is going to be my stop motion thing. So click, move, click, move, click, move, click, move, click. Okay. So then again, when I'm ready to see how that plays, I hit play, and it's going to make my stop motion video very quickly. Okay. Now, that can also be coupled with your voice recording. So if I click up in the top area, you see that I've got an arrow. It takes you back. The next one is to add your voice. Let's see, want to add voice, wants to access your microphone, hit OK, and then you're going to record. So when I hit record, I'm recording in 3, 2, 1, and it's going to let me record over the top of my images going through. Okay, so then hit done, and you can see that now when I play it, it's going to have that same option. I can also add images in. I can put title and credits, audio, and clips. And so you've got some options in here for making some different pieces. Just know that they're not going to be in that stop motion sort of thing nearly as easily. You also have off to the side a zoom in and out features. You can do the photo grids, all that's in there. Settings, you can tell it how fast you want it to go, what is the frame rate, all of that kind of stuff is all going to be in that next one. And then if you want it to repeat over and over again, you just have those options there. So you can insert from that or cut or select copy. Those sorts of things can all be done right within each frame as well. If you check the question box off to the side, it will tell you what each piece is. And so as you kind of play with some of those, that might be something to kind of play and see how that works for you. So again, this might be a little bit more niche just because you might not be wanting a stop motion video. But if you were going to have kids work through steps of things or work on sequencing, anything like that, that makes it pretty easy to see what they're thinking and work quickly in that app without having to learn a lot of steps. So the next one after that is Puppetedu. This one has a integration with Seesaw. So I can go create new. I can go to my camera roll and see there's all those book pages I was trying to get to come up earlier. So I can put all of my pages of my book in. I can reorder them if I want to, because right now they are in whatever order they are. And so I can put my whole book together and say next. And then I can put text in, I can put music in, and I can start a recording over the top of it. And I can go through my book that way as well and do a read aloud. Okay? Or a lesson or whatever it is that you're wanting to do. So you have that option. Sorry. My phone, or I was running out of charge. So there we go. All right. From there, you have I didn't actually create anything, but you have your albums and things like that, backgrounds, you have image searches, things like that to be able to put in. And once you've created your video, again, it lives on that camera roll. Oops, need to discard. All right, so that one is, and so I keep calling it Shadow Puppet, but on the app it says Puppetedu, so either one works. iMovie is going to be what we end with, so I will come back to that. Clips is the next one I'm going to show you. So this one does a camera, and so once you're in there, if you hold to record, you're going to hold that purple, pinky, red, whatever you see it, and that's going to record some of your video. So I can slide up, and it's going to do a continuous one, and sorry, everything is like super bouncy. So when I'm stopping, I can come over to the side and I can say live titles. These are kind of cool because while you're speaking, it records the text and adds it kind of like a closed captioning would do. Okay. And they've got all kinds of different font. So while you're speaking, it records, or while you're recording, it makes that. Okay. So then you can go to your library and pull pieces in. You can also make posters that come in as part of the video. And then when you hit the star, you can put your filters in. So if you want some crazy filter, you've got that. You can put in text, changing the text and playing around with it as much as you want. You can put in stickers. So now we've got a rainbow. Get rid of that one. Okay. Probably don't want that on my forehead, but there we go. I can also do emojis and that sort of thing as well. Okay, so I can go through that in there. So that kind of just makes it into a fun video. Again, up here you've got soundtracks or music that you've downloaded. You've got a flash, and you can do new projects through there. And then in the little menu, sorry, we're gonna open that again. You can also flip it around. So if you're doing something you're recording, you can do that. Don't look at the mess on my desk. All right. So that one is clips. And like I said, it makes it, all of these are super easy and they're free. So that's what makes it kind of nice. All right. So quickly, I'm going to go into these. Draw and tell. We're going to do, I got my colors down the side. What's nice though is that this one will do recordings. It will play the recording for the kids. They can choose the crayons, pencils, eraser. They have fun little backgrounds. And then they also have all of the little creatures that go on the, yep. So these ones that have like super audio, you kind of have to turn the audio off before, and I did not. So if you're going to do a recording like me, I would turn the audio of those off. So the rest of them all work pretty much the same. The print app. Let's see if I can get this one to turn music off. There we go. Can you still hear me though?
Yes, we can hear you.
Cool. All right, so when I hit the fairy tales, then I've got my backgrounds. I've got my characters. Okay. I've got all the little pieces that come in. All right, so I've got all kinds of little fun things that I can play around with and make my scene. And then they've got all kinds of props that they can tell their story with. And then over here, again, I've got the crayon options, pencil options, or they can record themselves telling the story that they had. So again, this one is great for littles telling their story, and then they can share their story through their drawings. So that one works very similar to Draw and Tell. It's just giving a different set of characters. Superhero does the same thing, but the comic book instead. All right, so then the comic book, again, your backgrounds are going to be, like that. So then you can come in and put people. Okay, so very similar to the last one. Again, you can do coloring, look for your comics, all of that is in those. So I'm doing those pretty quickly because there's not really a whole lot to learn with those. And if they're not interesting, I don't want to waste your time. So the last one. So this one, again, you're playing farmyard animal. So again, you get to kind of play with that, tell your story, work through the animals on the farm. Just another way of kind of getting storytelling or scene building for kids to be able to do that. Okay, so The last one is iMovie. Oh no, I thought I tested all of these. It will not let me go to that. Okay, we're going to try again. I need to have it open. Okay, we're going to try that again. Apparently I can be in the editing mode, but I can't be in certain pieces. So we'll try that again. All right, so I have one already in here, but you can kind of add anything from moments. So I could put any of my stuff in here. I can add in video that I've already put in here. I can take a picture or video and upload it. And I can also use the recording feature to record over what I'm doing, okay? Then I can come to photos, albums, files. I can also look at audio. What's nice is that they already have sound effects for you. They have music for you that you can play around with. Sorry, that's my music. Soundtracks is what I'm looking for. So that you can kind of play through some of the things that you're already looking for. And all of that is royalty free. So that makes it a little bit easy as well. To get to that menu, you just go to plus, and that's going to be all of your media. Again, your question mark is going to let you know what each piece of the product does. If you're wanting your filters, themes, and kind of changes based off of that menu is going to be in the top there. And then if you want to come down here, you can play around with some of the audio pieces for this. Again, you can play around with and trim based off of that. When you select the actual piece here, you can duplicate. You can put your transitions within the little box in between. And so it makes it fairly easy to kind of play around with your video. Now, one of the cool things that we just learned was with green screen. If you're ever going to do video with green screen, just remember you can use a tablecloth or a piece of fabric, and it's just behind you as you do the video or behind the object that you want to be green screened. And so to do that, you can come in and click your media and say, I want this. And you want to click that little option and add away as a picture-in-picture split screen, or there's the green and blue screen. And it's going to take out part of the video, and you tell what that part of the video is that you want gone. That's not a great example because it's not green, but you would be able to get rid of whatever was on there that you wanted to get rid of, right? So you can work with your overlays and things like that all through here. And that makes it kind of fun to be able to put you, on the beach or whatever as you're reading your story. So that also lets you have, some kind of fun with the green screen kind of ideas as well without having to learn something new to be able to do green screen. You can detach the audio as well through here, and you can speed it up and slow it down. So if you need to do that and play with the volume all within that menu as well. So the other cool thing is, so see how I have that top part as the green screen selected, it's yellow. I have two new options. One's this little square up here, and I can crop using that. Okay, so I'm going to take the area I want to not be in the video by doing that. It's kind of squirrely, but you can see how that worked. The other thing too is how much of that do you want to see? Okay, so that's going to determine some of that with the background. All right. Okay, so I'm seeing a question on the chat. It says, which of these apps allows us to download video or content and present on Seesaw and Classroom? So I don't know that a lot of them are going to go straight to either one, except for Puppetedu has a direct, and I think Sock Puppet had it, and maybe PhotoSpeak had it, maybe even Stop Motion. I think they had like a direct one, but if you actually are going to just download it into your camera roll, then your camera roll will go straight to your classroom, and or I think you can do the same thing to open up your Seesaw and get the video from that as well. So let's say I want to assign an activity, and I'm going to create a new one, and I want to add in a video, maybe not upload from photos. There we go. So I can put that in there. And so that's how I can then add in straight to Seesaw from the iPad. So I hope that answers that question. And the same thing for working from Classroom rather than getting it sending to from a specific app. I can go to my Classroom, open up my Classroom, and pull it straight from the device camera roll. So I hope that answers the question that you were asking. So there's where that kind of goes. Okay, Tanya, I see that you just joined again, and I think I just answered all of your questions while you weren't on here. I was looking at the chat. I didn't see you. Did you get to see it? Oh, okay. Okay, cool. All right. All right, that is the quick tutorial of several apps. So I know that was really basic over each one of them, but at least you could kind of see some of the options that you could use with kids or use for yourself to create some video options. Is there any questions? All right, then I'm going to stop the recording.